There you go.
I'd like to call this meeting on June 18th, 2025 at 6:15 PM. I get a roll call?
Mhm. Chairman Frenzel is absent. Co-chairperson Todd Lane,
Here.
Commissioner Sandy Kalish is present on Zoom. Member Shannon Lane is absent. Member Lori Rafferty. Member Julie Misak.
Here.
Administrator Boyd is here. Here. Okay. All right. We have a forum.
Great. I'd like to open this session for public comment. Any public comment?
Okay.
Well, it's not.
Yeah.
Public comments first.
Yeah, public comments first, yeah. Okay, so Joey, oh, Debbie, you gonna go first? Sure,
Yeah.
okay,
I just wanted to attend your meeting and hand out some stuff to you guys that, I emailed today. You guys' email addresses aren't available for me to send anything to you for links, so I did, just save this so that you guys get copies of it. I sent it to the board members, and so I wanted to make sure that you got it when you make sure Sandy gets one.
yes, absolutely.
I just want you guys to be aware that, the moratorium that was passed needs to come before you guys. This is critical. We have now lost 2 leases on our building because of this. It does jeopardize the economics of the town. I did make a choice today to have a contractor board up the glass windows on the front of the building because insurance is not happy. Insurance doesn't like it when there's not a business operating in there. And we now have turned down Global Propane for a business license in this town when they were going to bring in 7 jobs. So I think, and it's critical that now I see that it's not on your agenda again this week. And it's been almost a month since the moratorium was voted on. So if it's such an emergency, I feel like probably should have been on the agenda. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Joey,
Guys, I think I'm here tonight really as a, resident in this community and a business owner, and I vested myself in this community for several things. I have so much concern, you guys, over the conflict that's going on in this town. I mean, if everybody, I don't know how many people are on, I'm not even on Facebook, but the amount of calls I'm getting, the people that just know me and are asking what's going on. Look, we have to, you guys, part of control and part of power and part of just, I think, having, the possibilities, you have to bring men together. I think that the pull apart in this town is so bad right now, you guys. I'm not saying that I even can say one way or the other 100% how this should go, but oh my gosh. We have so much conflict going on in this town, and the hurt and anger. We gotta figure it out. Like, you guys gotta come together and figure this out. Really recommend highly planning commission and town board get together and make some decisions based on the betterment of everybody and figure out what is right, because this is just ugly. And I don't know if you guys, I don't know who all does what in this town. Julie, I know you work here, I think, right in town. No, you don't. But
I mean,
Tammy does. The amount of, and I'm sure Tammy's hearing some of it, the amount of crap I'm listening to on a daily basis, just in general from community members and stuff about how angry everybody, it's ugly. It's us, we're a small town. We should be really coming together. And I really hope everybody just reaches out and try to get this solved. Cause I'll be honest, it's pissed me off enough just listening to it. Sorry, didn't mean to cuss. Just listening to it every day is drawing me from another. I'm starting to feel like, what am I even doing here? Cause I'm getting so frustrated, listening to it. So I just appreciate your guys' time, and I hope everybody just come together and talk and maybe try to figure it out. And I know it just started, but Gotta be done quick. One way or the other. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody online? I would say there is nobody who is online that would like to speak, so that is the end of your public comment.
Any more public comments? Approval of minutes from April 16th
You
and
gotta
May
approve, you
28th.
gotta approve the agenda first.
Approval of the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda.
I second.
All in favor?
All for a vote?
Yes, so all in favor?
Oh, all in favor, that's right.
I.
Aye.
Sandy, are you and I?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Okay, now can I get an approval of minutes? April 16th and May 28th.
I move we approve the minutes from April 16th. And are we doing them together? Oh, the May 28th one? This is the regular meeting and this was the May. The one with the settlement.
Do I need to vote on that?
You can vote on them together or separately, it's up to you. If you want to have them in one motion, you can do that. If you want to separate them out, that's fine too.
Yeah, can I get a vote on both of them?
Okay, and I think Sandy said she motions to approve them.
I'll second that.
Okay. Okay,
We both.
We vote on.
uh-huh,
Both,
so,
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Sandy. Get an eye from Sandy?
Sandy, are you and I? Yes. Hand works, good, okay. Okay, so motion passes,
Now we move on to old business.
yes.
Amendment article sign code regarding temporary signs, temporary banners and feather banners.
Yes, so this is all what you worked on with the town board, at that last meeting.
For you,
Yes.
right?
Sure. Yep. Yep, you can just sign it and then cross your name out, and put your name underneath.
There's a chat comment.
Becca?
It's just Sandy saying hello.
Okay, so now we got old business.
Oh, you need to sign that one too.
Did I miss one?
Yeah, that's the second page of the other one. And then you got the first page over there somewhere.
Right here?
Yep. Yes, please. Thank you.
So where are we heading now? Old business, right?
Yeah, so how you want to proceed with the discussion that was had at the joint meeting, based on what you guys talked about, discussion, public comment,
Mhm.
etc. So,
Well, I think first we need to,
Like this, I mean, is this?
so you sent, yeah, so you guys sent that resolution or whatever to the board and it was declined. Whatever. So you need to go back and
Rediscuss it.
rediscuss it and any,
It was two for me.
yeah,
Okay.
and any changes. So like when they talked about, if you want to change like how many frontage square feet a business has, if you want to allow, you know, a certain number of banners or flag banners, et cetera, for that. If there's certain square frontage for just like the hanging banners you want to deal with. There was also the discussion of adding, a $25 annual banner fee to their business license. Because their business license is $75 every year to renew their business license, and they could add a $25 banner fee to that.
Two or three.
But that would be up to you, yes, to decide how many to allow them. So that's the kind of things you need to,
Did they think the whole thing was prohibitive or certain parts or?
Just certain parts.
just certain parts. So that's what we need guidance
Okay, so
on, to
that's-
to rewrite it, to
Okay,
redo.
so,
What they were, I didn't, but they were.
Yeah.
What they mean.
okay, so we're stuck at, so let me get this straight. We're stuck at how many banners they can have?
Yes,
Basically,
basically, yes.
I think it's just. And
But-
number of banners, I think it's the number of banners and how they're charged for them.
Right, and type and length of time, types of banners,
Mhm.
cause you have the feather banners. And you have like the regular like hanging banners
Okay.
are the
so-
big ones.
So the discussion, as I remember it, was there was discussion about adding to the business license applications, annual business license
Okay.
renewal.
I remember that.
applications,
Yep.
A nominal fee that would allow them to choose either between an additional banner or a feather banner to be hung
Okay.
in addition to their already.
Their regular signage, yes,
Their
primary signage.
their primary signage.
So,
Yeah.
so their actual, business sign, this isn't included. in this,
No.
Which it shouldn't.
No,
should
their,
not.
their actual business sign is not
Part of
included.
the business
That's
license.
part of their, yeah, correct.
Business.
That's just part of their business.
Okay,
They're,
so-
they're allotted one permanent sign, like Farmer State Bank has that big one out front,
okay,
you
so
know, and
there's-
Longevity has her purple one, and yeah, they each have their own sign.
Okay, so what do you think about this? What if you did, what if we did? At the time that you do your business license. Okay, which it's yearly, it's updated every year, right?
Yes.
They have to do that every year.
Yes,
Okay, so what if you include in that business license? Like, two signs, I mean, two hanging signs. Or,
or a hanging sign and a banner,
well,
or,
two banners, whether it be a feather or. You know, just a regular, banner or a
Like-
feather sign.
Like Leach's has. They have a small banner right out front and then he's got a flag.
Exactly, well, my thought is at the time that they do a business license, let's help the business owners and include. Two signs, okay, of course, I mean, we're gonna regulate what size they are, I mean, we can't have them put up like a 10 by 10. banner.
right, and I think the sizing is in the
Well-
sizing, how they can be, or whatever.
What if we include in that business license, when they sign in for a business license, they're allowed up to two banners, okay? But I mean, we go with the most common sizes of banners, okay? Like a 2 by 4 or a 5 by 8 or whatever they feel that will fit their business, okay? And that's included in the business license, okay?
Okay, when you say two banners, are you saying they're permanent sign plus two
Plus
banners?
two banners,
Or do
because.
you wanna use the term sign
And
banners
separately.
to
Yeah, banners
include-
are gonna be separate.
to include permanent banners, feathers, all signs? So when you're used, so banners has a different definition than the word sign. So when you
Yeah,
say.
yeah, I know-
when you say
I know what you're saying.
Banner, then you're allowing now three signs, they're permanent plus two
Yeah,
banner, is
why-
that your intent?
Yeah.
Okay, I just
Let's
wanted to
help
make,
out the business.
I just wanted to make sure.
Thought we had listened last time to the people had shown up and were sharing their concerns. I felt like we were trying to accommodate what is working for the town now.
Right.
And I guess that's where my confusion is.
I think we need to accommodate the business owners.
No, that's what I'm
To a
saying,
point.
but, no,
Right.
that's what I'm saying, but that's what I thought we got feedback. from.
Yes, which is the idea of adding,
Right.
allowing extras.
And
So
then-
that depends on the number. So then like Patty Ann's, she has two feather banners, and then she will sometimes hang a special banner. That would be three.
Three banners in addition to the permanent.
Correct. So are you going to limit it to the two, or are you gonna also look at the square footage like they asked for?
Or allow a third for a special use.
Okay,
Special
I'll get to that.
Okay,
So when they do a business license, okay, it has to be re-upped every year, okay? So upon doing that business license. What comes with that? It's like a package deal. What comes with that is two banners. Okay,
And
One
a
permanent sign. and
plus your
two-
permanent sign
No,
plus,
the other, not two. is what was discussed at that meeting. You either choose a banner or you choose a feather banner in addition to your permanent signage.
So it was one sign and one banner in essence is what,
One or the
One-
other.
what we had.
One permanent sign and two temporary signs
To choose from.
to choose from. No, and so you may have a total of 3 signs.
That's
One,
not what was
one
discussed.
permanent
I
and 2
thought that's-
temporary.
Was one or the other, what's the minutes say, or do the minutes?
I
reflect
thought-
that?
I think the minutes
I
should
don't-
say return to the planning commission for discussion.
Yeah,
'Cause that's what
because
usually
we had
was
even
on
talked
our-
about the feed store and about their
correct.
amount of property and, I mean, we did consider all different sizes.
Right.
And different types, like storefront versus something that's set back. So this, like, yeah, I'm
Well, that's why you're having a discussion.
Okay, we can simplify this. Okay? Now, of course, we all have to vote on this, but we can simplify this. At the time that you do a business license, okay, you're allowed your permanent marquee plus two banners, whether it be a feather or a banner, whatever. You can
Or
choose a
hanging on the
feather
sign.
and a banner. Okay, or you can choose 2 feathers, whatever. That comes with the deal. It's a package deal with the business license. Anything over that, then it's an extra $25 per banner. Okay, so if they want to do 4, up to 4 banners.
Are we taking into?
Permanently for the whole year?
Yeah, why not? Let's help them out.
That's I mean, that's,
It's
like,
your
if you look
town.
at really small properties that have,
Yes, create the perimeter,
the
the
business
business
owners
owners
are
not gonna wanna
enforcement
jump
too.
up there.
and I
That's how
agree with
we get
that,
that.
and not,
That's what,
can't-
now what?
But that gives the
Inhibit-
feed store leeway to
Yeah.
put up 6 banners if they wanna pay, an extra $100 for the extra 4 banners for a year. I
Is there gonna
feel
be-
like that's fairly reasonable.
any consideration for size? Or is that out of?
No,
That's-
there are size limitations in the code, signs no larger than 15 square feet, that's with flashing.
I meant store for, like, front property.
So during our discussion with the town board, I entertained the idea of a percentage of the storefront or property. And, that got too complicated and too far into the weeds. So we
Linear
just put,
versus-
so we just put a square foot maximum on there and leave it up to the business owner to use their square foot maximum to their advantage. If they choose a smaller sign because they have a smaller storefront, that's fine. If they're a larger storefront and can use the full square footage, then they're free to do so.
And I agree with all that. I think I know this is way out there, but then I'm playing devil's advocate, but would it, I mean, where is the restriction to stop a business from being allowed to have 6 banners that goes over, and we can say it doesn't go over your neighbor's property, but, is there a way do we
Yeah.
need to address that? Do we need?
It cannot, so it's already in the code that they cannot leave their property.
What about sidewalk? I mean, that's obvious. It comes out from there. That's pretty clear.
Yep.
Okay.
See if I can find it.
I don't like the whole idea of, certain percentage of the.
Right,
building.
right, we nixed that,
Yeah, that was Nick's.
that was nixed.
I think it should be plain and simple to where, you take like the 6 most common sizes and say, these are what you get to choose from.
But aren't we controlling their choice at that point then also?
We're not
I mean-
controlling it. we're
No, we
giving
just,
like
I think,
different
I
sizes.
think, we don't need to give them sizes, we just need to give them a maximum they can't go over. And then they can choose the
I like that.
sign that doesn't
I
go
like
over
that.
that maximum.
Yes, I
You
like
guys
that.
had asked me to be here to give you some input as the business owner
Yes,
today.
please.
Like Just Peachy is an example. There's so many different services that could be performed there. Those feather banners do draw a lot of attention.
Right.
Before I did those, I wasn't getting anybody in there for tanning, because we just didn't know we had it, or sauna. So it'd be nice to have, say, and not to, you don't want something just that's obnoxious, but we have a big area right there. in the front.
Right.
So if we could put, say, I'm just giving you an example, a feather banner that says tanning and one that says sauna, and maybe somebody wants to do one for haircuts. I don't know if I should be limited to 1 or 2 feather banners.
Mhm.
Because I probably won't put a big banner on my building anymore, right? Cause it's gonna just, it won't look right for my building. So I guess I'm asking that you not limit the feather banners that degree, as long as they're not obstructing traffic or anything.
And I agree, cause your business that's further back where you're not gonna see it. Except for
You're
the
trying
feather.
to draw attention to
Yeah.
that.
When we have a moment, Sandy wants to speak too.
Okay.
I'll have her. Sandy, if you want to unmute. Go ahead.
Okay, so my only thing is if we have a business and we allow them for banners. They take up the whole front of the building and it looks like trash. That's not good. 1 or 2 banners that take up no more than half of their store frontage.
Okay. So she's suggesting that the banners cannot take up more than half the store frontage. Now, is that sidewalk store frontage?
I don't. I didn't think about.
What happens, let them all have 4 or 5, 6, and CDOT comes in and says, you know what, now we have a say in this.
Them in the sidewalk, because then you have to walk around them.
I mean, we obviously want to support our businesses and that is everybody's primary. goal. And. But I agree, like,
The CDOT,
you know, someone could take it, not that anybody here would, but it could be, if there's not a limit, I don't know. I think it could be,
So what happens when we have the improvement? I'm just playing devil's advocate.
no, we need devil's advocate.
and does CDOT have jurisdiction if it's on the business owner's property and not on?
It's on a highway.
If it's not on the high, if
It's
it's
on, I'm just saying, if they come forward
it's
and they
visible
say,
from the highway,
okay,
but
you
it's
guys
not
have
on
changed
the
your plan,
highway.
and now we've got all of these, well, they dictate if you have rotating signs or lights or anything flashy
Okay.
up and down the highway.
Okay,
So I'm just playing devil's advocate. What if CDOT comes in?
Can we speak to CDOT about that?
I can have Tim from CDOT signage, communicate with you guys or write some sort of opinion from CDOT. We can do that.
Be
Ask-
very, very helpful.
ask them if they have regulations that we can.
So I think there also needs to be some consideration to the improvements that are getting ready to be made down 86.
Mhm.
There's a proposal to put trees in there. Okay, so if those
And
trees are gonna go along 86 in those new sidewalks,
Oh, and
then where are those signs gonna go?
Because they're bringing the
Are you
high-
gonna be upset because now the trees are there blocking the signs that are behind the trees?
I mean, I think there's a board to also talk about that, so that would, I don't know where they're gonna put those trees at this time.
You will tomorrow night.
I'm not, you know what, I am not saying that people need to, I don't think anybody's gotten carried away.
No,
Could
they
it happen?
No,
And
no,
sure,
that's
somebody-
not what we're saying at all.
Somebody could,
Yeah.
big time, right? I would give you an example though, the feed store, perfect example, you know, they have that coffee shop there. So, and I guess they probably have their own business license too.
Yes,
So I suppose they could have what
yes.
they have, but they're on the same property, whether they have a business license or not, so.
That could
Long
limit
story,
them if
It
there's
won't
only
limit them,
3
it
allowed.
won't limit
Yeah.
them though, because they have a business license and so does the feed store. So I would think both would be allowed, however many banners you allow.
Right.
Right, so, look, there's conflict with everything, I'm not saying there's not, as far as the banners that fly, the feather banners. I've not gotten obnoxious with them, right now I have 2 out there as a general rule.
And I think they work. I think
They do
draw
attract
attention.
people,
Yes.
because a lot of people don't know what you have there, right?
Correct.
I think Patty Ann's been tasteful. I think
Mm-hmm.
everybody's been tasteful. Could somebody get obnoxious? Sure. Are they going to? Probably not. Nobody wants their building to look like crap. And to be perfectly honest, they're expensive. And this wind beats them up pretty
Yes.
fast.
Yes.
So it's not like I think people are gonna go put 20 of them up and just do dumb things.
Yeah.
You know, my tanning one's already ripped. I mean, they're not cheap. They're
Well,
not $75.
And your little doctor ones got beat up by the hail.
Joey,
Yeah.
because you use prudent judgment doesn't mean somebody else will. You can't assume what somebody else asks.
Great. I'm not opposed to having a rule regulation. I just, the one
There
that
has to be
the
more.
one that was in effect wasn't
Okay, no,
effective, in
Right.
my opinion.
So, you know, my other thought is like the Mexican restaurant, like. And these smaller businesses that have little sidewalks and have less opportunity to put a feather banner out.
Just like Sandy.
Then we're working with what the things that you put on that side, I mean,
But those are temporary, because those sidewalks are gonna end up being extended by 15 feet.
But you're not gonna allow probably them to put them on your
on the
sidewalk,
side.
right?
I mean,
It has to be on their property.
Without asking, without permission, Patty Ann's permanently affixed it into the patio sidewalk.
And that-
Go ahead, Sandy.
You know, and for 90% of our people in town, I believe they have tasteful signage. Joyce is tasteful. She doesn't overpack it. She doesn't fill it with a lot of different signs. I agree with her, and I think that our town people that have businesses should be willing to make their place look successful, not trashy. Like sometimes there's 4 or 5 signs out in front of Patty Ann's. That look horrible. You can't even read them. Why do you got them there? People driving through are not going to read them. The thing is if we give them 4, they're going to use them. If we give them 2, they're limited. If you give them whatever they want, they're going to pack it, except for the few tasteful people that wouldn't tastefully destroy the front of their building. So I think we're going to have to limit it to, say, 2 storefront banners and 1 or 2 sidewalks. But like Kim said, they're going to redo all the sidewalks, and people are going to want to enjoy walking down them, not running around signs.
and if bigger businesses have 6 feather banners out there, the little businesses that have less storefront don't get noticed. As much.
Joey, maybe you can enlighten me. I'm trying to understand why the businesses along there, they're trying to get attraction, and the feather banners, they're bright, they're attractive, they draw your attention to them. So why do you need 6 of them lined up there? Why do 6 need to be needed to get attention? Why wouldn't 1 be sufficient?
I think in my case, I don't, and I don't think I said 6.
No, I'm
I
just
did.
saying.
No,
okay,
It
you're
was
just
just
saying
that
example.
they could go up
Okay.
to
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
In my case specifically, I'm
Yeah.
trying to put on the banner, if you look at the feather banners, they say what
The
services. available.
services.
It says
and there's
sauna
different
on one,
services.
tanning on one, and maybe we have one that says haircuts,
Mhm.
right? Something like that. It's hard to, you can't pack a bunch of different
Words
services
the
on
thing.
each one.
Mhm.
Look, at the end of the day, it's my job to make it work, whether I'm allowed to do them or not. I'm just telling you, as a business owner in this town is still challenged and it's struggling. And Tammy knows that people that do services here know it. We need a little bit of stuff to attract people and say, because once I put the tanning and the sauna out, people go, oh, we didn't even know you had tanning and sauna here. And they started coming in. So I give that as an example because, to be honest with you, somebody like a bar probably doesn't need to have a feather banner saying beer. People know you have beer, right?
But they could say
But
live
they
music.
could say
or
Like
something,
music,
yeah.
or they could have they'll have something up having a beer special, but it's gonna be a banner. I don't want banners necessarily on my building. I probably will never do that, ever.
So you like the feather?
For me, my type of business, it works better, but not for everybody.
Those kind
But you could give them the choice then.
Yeah,
Might
could-
be
definitely
something more like a
choice.
sign that says beer, $1.50 specials during happy
Yeah,
hour. Or
karaoke
during
night.
Rodeo, you guys. JR needs to do a couple of them, to draw people in for pizza, beer and
And
whatever.
could that be a special event, like? a
Yes.
Special,
Those could be a special,
like.
Or maybe
for a
allow
month.
more during special
yeah,
events. I don't know.
but that could be a special event permit they could apply for if they were gonna hang it for a couple weeks.
The businesses that are in your building,
Uh,
do they all individually have business licenses?
No, they're covered under the day spa license.
Oh, okay.
So that wouldn't even work, 'cause then you'd have to let everybody have 2 or 3 of them. So then it could get stupid, right?
That's the thing is we're pro-business, absolutely. Businesses make the town and we want people to be successful and have the opportunities to. First of all, I didn't know there was like numbered, like 1 or something. But I also don't think I think we need to have a cap. A reasonable cap, depending on the space. I don't know what that
I
is.
think it should look good. I don't think we want the town to look trashy. I have a day spa. If there's any business that needs to probably look pretty presentable, it's that one, right? So I don't wanna do anything that's obnoxious. However, I agree, there's people that could come in and bring it to a whole new degree. Cigarette butts though outside of a building that should be commercial, that's laying all over the ground and broken, that needs to be addressed before you, anything, and we're not addressing that, in my opinion. I think it's been brought up a lot, and it hasn't been fixed. There's people living in a commercial building right down the.
Where is it brought up?
That's
Oh.
part of the moratorium.
Yeah,
That's part.
is we're trying to,
Cigarettes.
to try to get the, there's two businesses, well, one especially. But there's one business especially that,
Oh, no.
there's a person living in a
Excuse me.
business.
There's 3 areas under that moratorium that have been identified, and they've been identified numerous times. They've been made public, reading it out loud. It's been put on the Facebook, on the website. It's very clear, Debbie.
Yeah, it's
Whether
very
you wanna
clear.
put it out there or not.
It's very, oh, I share the.
3 areas, I know, we are all well aware of it too.
Good.
3
Why I
areas
tagged
of the
you.
moratorium that are being dealt with right now is the fact that we have commercial businesses in town center that have people living in them and not conducting business.
Which is a problem.
They moved into them under the guise of a caretaker and have not once conducted business out of them since I moved into it. But they're taking up a commercial space. The other part of the moratorium is identifying, inventorying the commercial businesses we currently have and finding out a way to extend our, town center, our Main Street area, the full length of 86. It essentially should go from Albert Road to the east
To
end
the
of
post
town.
office.
That should be the entire commercial district. And the other one is, clearing up the code language so that we have identified commercial retail, identified commercial professional offices, so that it's all encompassed. We don't know what that language looks like yet. We're still dealing with the building department. We're still dealing with legal. Before we
Yeah.
put it on your agenda and it comes to you.
Yeah,
It can't just come to you with no guidance from those entities. So.
yeah, we've been dealing with the
there's that
building
issue. It's
department.
Not on your agenda.
I was
It's
like,
being
I
brought
have-
up.
Yeah, say,
Okay.
we've had,
Yeah.
right, we've been having meetings with like
Okay.
building department and stuff. So, but we're still waiting for them to give us,
If we're gonna push on it tonight, there's your update. You have an email. I sent you the ordinance, so you were aware of it. You obviously did not get that before the meeting tonight. So you can read that in its entirety when you get home.
I will do that.
yeah,
But I didn't, like Facebook and stuff, I'm not on. I don't,
That's probably good.
yeah, I just.
And you can watch the YouTube videos of the town board meetings.
Yeah.
So they're very clear about the exceptions and stuff. so.
Okay, well, I think we can't pick and choose. If we're gonna say certain things like banners are, and we're sticking to code about that, then we need to stick to code also about buildings and.
yeah,
Right.
but
what they're
tonight is,
classified as.
tonight is just banners.
And I apologize, I didn't need to bring something up. I was just pointing out that that specific building looks trashy when you walk by it. If you want to look at trash, walk by that building.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
tonight is
banners to
just
me aren't as big
banners.
as that.
I think
That's all I-
on that part, though, Joy, I think the people occupying that space
Mhm.
should be responsible for cleaning up after
Well, of
themselves.
course.
We are during the snowstorms. So I think that should be something that's continuously done throughout the year. I think, that, I don't know that we should reiterate that in our zoning, cause I believe it's in there.
Well, of course, it's commercial zone.
And I think, and to address you guys with that building, that was the couple that was in here that one night. And they, the lady was in tears because she's,
Of no fault of their own.
yeah, exactly. And so we don't know how, and I think you guys are gonna address that at one time to see how you could help them. So I'm not sure where that.
Well, I don't know about help them, but help prevent kind of that situation. But
Right.
if,
Sorry.
if it's not, if we're sticking to what we say we're gonna stick to, and that's a commercial building, then they shouldn't even be.
Right, so,
be put in. this
so
position.
we are currently working on that with building to clarify caretaker and that whole shebang.
So to get back to banners.
Yep.
I think we need to have a generous max, but also somehow protect the much smaller businesses of not getting overrun by
So
people who can have. more.
right now you have it with my notes that the suggestion is that they are allowed with their business license, besides their main sign,
Okay.
they're allowed 2 other banners, a feather, 2 feathers, a feather and a hanging, or 2 hangings. But they could also add up to 4 more. So that would give them a total of 6 if you want to leave it at 6, or you could chop it back down to say 4. But that's what you guys kind of need to,
And taking all sizes into consideration, feed store, just peachy, those, the farmer's bank, those kind of things. To try to find a nice in-between.
right?
So
Could it be done,
We have a size.
and I'm just thinking out loud here, could it be done like the size of the building? If you've got, like the feed store or the bar or just Peachy, could we allow them maybe more than what we would some of the smaller buildings?
So would you do it on like front measurement? Like if you're 1 lot, 2 lots, because some of those buildings are like 1 lot.
Right.
Some are 2 lots, some are 3 lots.
Yeah,
There's nobody that's half a lot or anything like that.
No.
There is one, I think the bank might be 1.5. Either way, look, at the end of the day,
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I could go and figure that out.
No, and I'm not, that's what, but I'm saying if there was a half of them. Like if one of those storefronts was.
Oh, but you could choose to round it up if you wanted to be generous.
It's just peachy,
I think that would be 2 lots, ours 2 lots.
and then Mexican food restaurant.
Is like
They're
1,
lot.
he's 1 lot.
At our workshop that we did together on
I
May
can-
28th,
I can look that
it
up.
was brought up that, maybe it should be measured by linear feet. And then here you've got it proposed to be no more than 50 square, 50
Right,
feet.
we do,
Yeah, 50
we do have that, proposal in there that all banners, single or combined with or without further banners will not exceed 50 square feet.
But that doesn't work though for different size lots though, does
Right.
it?
Right, and it was unreasonable to expect your phone to get out of tape measure and start walking into the building. To be silent and then people.
Got it.
I like the idea about
A
lot size.
Lot size. And be
Yeah, and
simplified.
that would be
Oh,
pretty easy to figure out,
Yeah,
okay.
so.
So can I bring up one more issue and
Yeah.
look,
No,
it doesn't,
do,
it's
we
not
need to
gonna
know.
hurt everybody, but at some time it could. I have, I'm gonna put the bar back on the market. The only way to really advertise signs out there, you can't put signs in the ground anywhere, clearly. I need to have banners on the building, but if he has banners, cause he runs the business. Can I put a for sale sign on that building still along with their banners they might already have without?
Yeah, would you exempt a for sale sign?
There are provisions right now in our proposed
We said it
code
wasn't covered.
For
that,
sale signs.
that allows for sale signs, yes.
Cause I was
That's
hoping to
excluded
put
from
2,
banner,
one on the
right.
one side and one on the front.
Yes.
But if I can't, I can't. I'll put it on the MLS and it'll be what it is. It's just, you draw more attention and at some point,
That's not included in the.
I mean, I'll see if I can,
advertising.
let me see if I can find it.
Like I said, I think we decided that.
But I
Let's
want to
see.
keep it tasteful. Even that, I get it for sale sign.
no, I think if they're trying to sell the building, that shouldn't
Well,
be
you need to be
included in
able
what
to-
signs they already have.
People have to be able to see.
Let's see.
So 1 for sale or for rent sign for each 400 feet of the lot's street frontage, provided each sign or banner does not exceed 40 square feet.
And that's in addition to their stuff.
And that's in addition to your
Cause they'll probably
regular
want to keep
business
their.
signs.
I mean, it sounds like you guys are being very fair, so I'm good with whatever you decide. And like Kim said, I agree with what she's saying. You also don't want it to be a disaster.
One big feather wind,
Right.
especially in the Cuyahoga wind.
But the business owners we have here have treated that town center very tastefully.
Oh, I agree. I
And
don't think anybody
think
disagrees with
By
that. at
any
all.
of the changes that you make here, they're gonna go all willy-nilly because they all have a common interest in wanting to keep it,
I agree.
respectful down
I'm
there.
not playing devil's advocate, cause
Right.
if there's one person ever that decides, then we don't have code.
Right, and I'm just saying, you're not writing this code to the people that are there now exclusively.
you're writing that code permanently for anybody that comes and goes out of this town.
But we wanna be we are pro-business.
Correct.
We know that's what keeps, and you have to be able to advertise, and it's good to know what works, what doesn't work in the feather banners, so we need to make that work for them.
So like if Joey's would be 2 lots, then she would be allowed to have 4
If we're
of
doing
feather banners.
If we're doing
two
two
banners per
per
lot.
lot.
Yes,
Yeah,
and the bank could do 3.
yes.
So does that,
Does that sound
I
agreeable?
think it sounds reasonable. Yeah. And do you think
and
if that?
not counting special event?
Yeah,
not
especially that
counting
would
it
be,
special event,
right.
cause that would be additional, could be if they
Sure.
wanted to and applied.
So like
Yes.
when JR puts up, cause I know during, a lot of times during Father's Day or whatever, you might notice he put a little sign like $10, whatever, $10 pizza for Father's Day.
Stuff with the school.
Yeah.
stuff for the school.
Feather
Yeah.
banners at the school, you mean?
No, he puts up signs that are like
Yeah,
support,
school.
like support boys basketball or support, Father's Day or support.
So
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
names of the graduates.
Yes,
And-
yeah, he always puts those little signs out.
And those are but that would be to me special event,
Yes.
kind of,
Right.
Agree.
And that would be really easy because then he could just come up and apply for a special event, say, I'm gonna do this for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
and I even think a month.
Well, yeah, I wasn't gonna put it,
Yeah.
I was just giving an example that he could say, I'm gonna do this for, and I'll be like, oh, okay.
Don't our little things like the little
yard sign?
yard signs
Uh-huh.
and like that, that's a month, right?
Yes,
So to be.
I mean, well,
consistent.
it depends on the event, really,
Right.
it depends on the event.
Right.
Cause like, when we put the music in the park out, they're only out, for like a week. The church, when they were doing, like banquets, they were doing 2 weeks. So they would put it out 2 weeks before, like when they did the Easter dinner, it was out for 2 weeks.
I can have the current in there.
Yes,
Because it should,
And the
it should
highlight?
say what the time limit is on temporary signs.
yeah.
And there's some things we need to do. Additional
Uh.
things besides what's highlighted that we need.
Oh,
to-
temporary signs, blah, 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 blah.
You're
Um,
wanting to change the established as well as.
Just some wording.
Temporary signs including allowed in use for advertising special events, include community events, fairs, these signs are permitted provided they do not cause a safety hazard, they remain in good condition, are not a nuisance. The signs must be removed immediately following the conclusion of the event they are advertising. There is not a time limit in here for those. But so far, everybody who's come in for those they haven't wanted them up. I mean, you could add a time limit if you wanted to, like no more than a month and need renewal. Right now, most of them have been up for a week, maybe 2.
So those would
Temporary.
address.
Yeah.
Temporary sign says 30 days.
So I want to.
Oh, I was looking at special events, sorry.
To 16,262 prohibited signs, number 4,
Okay, hold on.
off premises.
Page numbers.
Okay, page number.
Um,
16,262, number 4,
After definition.
216.
yes, after definitions.
Okay, hold on.
So we need to change number 4, because number 4 right now, this is listed under prohibited in all zone districts. Off premises signs, that can stay. Portable signs,
Yeah.
temporary signs, banners or pennants, except allowed under these regulations or special events. I
Okay.
think we need to
Scratch
strike
number 4.
or special events. Not the whole number 4,
Oh.
just for special events.
Okay.
So that it will read, except as allowed under these regulations.
Okay. So take off the special
Everybody,
events.
everybody,
So take off special events.
that's what my suggestion is.
Okay.
We strike for special events. Because for a special event, you have to get a special event permit, and you don't.
Including. I mean, is that saying? that those
But it
are-
says except for
Except-
allowed under
except
the.
as
Allowed under this code.
Under these regulations,
Right.
and then we get
Gotcha,
into what's
gotcha.
allowed. But the way it reads now, none of it would be allowed unless they got a special
Okay.
event license.
So,
You're gonna understand
The special event.
that this code enforcement lady, keep in mind,
Right.
She now has to decide in her mind what she's considering
That's-
special event. That might be hard for her. I
But
don't
that's
know.
why it
That's
needs to
why
be
we're striking,
clean.
we're, and
Oh,
we're
we're
getting
gonna
rid
take
of the
all out.
special.
Yeah.
events.
So I'll take it all out.
Take your
Just
special
make
events.
four
Okay.
special events. Right now, they're only allowed to say.
Okay.
Right.
In other words, they're
I
not
thought you
allowed
guys
at
were
all
saying that you
unless
some-
it's a special.
Get a special event license though sometimes.
That's the way it reads
Oh.
now.
But that
You're
would
gonna take
be,
that out.
We're
that
gonna
would be,
take
a-
So. that's
but it
my
would be
suggestion.
allowed as written and we're writing in a special event.
Correct.
And so we've addressed signs on buildings, banners, and temporary signs that JR puts up like for graduation. Are there
Right.
anything, other things we need to consider that?
Well, I have a suggestion and I don't know if this is even, but it would help the town too. Kim, I don't know if you have it available. I thought I saw, you know how we come into town, sometimes they'll have like the digital, Kim, something
Like,
was out
like the
other
music
day
in the park?
about the music in the park, was it not on one of those?
That was road and bridge sign.
Yeah.
Is there any way to talk to you guys? Could that be something that's, and I know they're probably very expensive, that they would either loan it, rent it? What about like advertising businesses like mine, and I pay you guys money to do it? They wouldn't allow it,
I've asked that.
Really?
Bennett offered to sell us one.
and they wouldn't allow it?
We can't put it in CDOT right away.
Okay. Well,
Could
they
we
do
put
it in
it
Elizabeth,
somewhere?
and that's CDOT's right away.
I can't speak to Elizabeth.
You see what I'm saying, though?
I can, but I've had numerous conversations with CDOT concerning that. That's why we never pursued buying that sign.
They have
for
a
them.
couple that they put out there.
Are you talking about the one that's up on the hill by the cemetery?
They have that one, and then they have one further down where they do that.
The rec center, like the.
Well, those may set off of CDOT's right away.
Yeah, I say, I think the one by the park is off the right of way.
So how our code is written, that's required the businesses to set right at the curb line. That doesn't allow for any leeway there for
Right, well,
being
I
out of
just
CDOT right away.
wonder if there'd be a little bit of property area even, that's what I'm saying, it might help the businesses,
agree.
and we would pay to do it, pay you guys to do it. Like say over at the feed store, they have enough property right there, couldn't it sit off on their property just a little bit to where people could read it, like, hey, Joey at Just Peachy's having a special this week for a facial, I don't know.
Is that where we were talking though? We had the problem with the drop off?
Yeah, the only space that the town could feasibly put one, we would have to ask permission from 40 Mile, which has given us permission to put something there on that corner. But that corner, the
Yeah, we were talking,
east
there's a
side of that intersection.
huge drop off.
Kind of low.
So you've already thought,
The east side of the intersection is town jurisdiction. The west side of the intersection is county jurisdiction. We only have the east side to work with. And that intersection right there comes right off that gravel on the edge of the road. It goes straight downhill.
okay, yeah, I mean, so you've already thought of it, it entered my mind that wouldn't it be revenue from the town?
It'd be great.
Yeah.
You can speak to 40 Mile. 40 Mile at one time told me they were proposing to replace the sign they currently have right there at their entrance with a sign like that. We're gonna come to the town, submit an application requesting a variance to do that, which would also include CDOT discussion because it would have lights and
Sure.
and such. But it would be more likely to be approved by CDOT if it sits in the location where it's currently located than it would if we were suggesting it sits somewhere closer to the right of way.
So when you had it up the other day for the town event, they allowed it just because it was a special event that day?
They're sitting right there at the edge of the bridge and it's over enough that it's not sitting in their right of way,
Is that bad to do it there all the time?
not our property.
I
None of
guess-
that's our property, that's the car wash and no,
Okay. We have to
And
get permission.
that's all gonna be torn out.
Okay, it was just a thought, like I was just thinking how nice it would be if Patty
I
Ann's
know.
had a book roast
I
beef
know.
special going
But
on.
that's
How
that's
nice
a
would it be to
unique
take it out
issue
there?
that we face all the time because we sit on a highway.
Yeah.
So,
I just. thought
It's
that-
hard not having the main street turn off, because that's one thing about Elizabeth. Yeah, they have a
Yeah.
lot of businesses that go down 86, but they also have a main street that shoots.
we got two
Perpendicular.
signs that were made for us free of charge from the Eastern Council of Central Governments. And we added a welcome to Kiowa on top of it to go on each end of town. We have yet to be able to identify a spot that those can go in.
Yeah.
Because
Because there's no space.
we have numerous obstacles, either.
And they're
external or
a
down
beautiful sign.
Into
They're
our
beautiful.
right of way, or CDOT
There's nowhere to
just
put 'em.
maybe blanket no, if it's anywhere near our right of way, we will not allow you to put it in, period. There's no permit we can put in, there's no variance request we can submit. It's just a flat no.
Would have to be through private business down there or down here.
Yeah.
I just think it
So-
would help the businesses. I mean, if guys are coming through here, maybe coming from Texas, and they're coming through and they say, oh, Patty Ann's is having a roast beef special, I know, $10.99, let's stop. It might just be helpful, and businesses would probably pay the town to do it, is all I'm thinking.
That would be really great, and, putting in a sign, I think, putting in a sign like they have up there at the cemetery is awesome advertising for the local businesses over there. Something like that in Kiowa would be perfect. Us having to wait till all of our construction is done so that we don't work.
Yeah.
That's fine, maybe that is good, and maybe maybe after the construction's done, maybe there's a grant to get like that if there's a space, but I don't know.
I'm hoping by extending those sidewalks out, I don't know if that will change the CDOT right of way definition. To be honest with you.
Oh.
I don't know.
Maybe,
It's a-
because they'll be a little further, the buildings will be off.
But it doesn't change the location of the electrical poles, which right
Oh.
now dictates.
Well, they still own land underneath those sidewalks.
Correct.
Probably.
Oh. Hmm.
Right, but right now, there's, statutorily, it is written that the municipality is responsible for the curb lines and the sidewalks.
Okay. All right, well, I'm sorry, I was off a little bit, but it was a signage. thing.
No,
But
because we're talking signs here and what works for businesses.
It would be smart to help businesses.
Well, and that could be something like was said, after construction, maybe we could revisit it and see if there's an opportunity to do something.
Maybe a grant out there to get the sign.
So we've looked at all
Do I put on your list?
kinds of signs.
Yeah, that's my new business, I see land on.
No, I mean, on part of your board.
Yeah.
There's
grants
it's a
in there.
marketing, it's an outreach, promotion.
Yeah. I need you sign, mine's terrible.
Well, maybe bring it up at your board meeting. When you guys meet them.
We talked about it a little bit. I think it's harder to get. And I don't know how to write grants, maybe Kim wants to write that for me, how to do that.
I think quite a few people in town that grant writing experience,
Really?
like maybe volunteer or something.
Who the heck would volunteer?
I know, some people like that.
There's actually citizens to you through the middle office in Main Street.
Oh, that's right, don't they like offer? Yeah, they just provide in that meeting.
Not fair that I'll get one done there. I think that's fun.
No, I'm just saying, I mean, that's part, you're not just focused on your business as part of that, I'm really just focused on the entire Main Street area, I'm saying as. a
Or
board,
signage.
Put that down as one of your checkmarks for business moving forward,
Yeah,
and a project that you guys have identified you want to.
I think it'd be a very good idea. Get better signs done.
Where,
So we need to, can we get something from CDOT? I mean, I guess that
Yeah.
has a lot to do with
Yes.
tomorrow,
our signs and that kind of,
I'll get a hold of them.
I almost feel like we can't really make a full decision until we talk to CDOT, right? I don't
Well, I
wanna hurt
think that
them.
it was going to
Mm,
be,
I don't wanna hurt the
I
business.
remember the conversation completely different.
Mhm.
And I came into this meeting assuming that y'all were gonna talk about the application, for a business license every year, adding in an option to put one or the other out there and a cost for that for the rest of the year. And now we're having a conversation with multiple bright flags going up potentially. You know, that's not happening. But again, we're speaking to forever. You have to be on here
Control
or
on it.
until that it's changed again.
Someone could put 20 signs out, like I mean, if we don't limit it.
I
they're
tell
able
you, there are people in this town that take the code, they interpret it the way they want it to go. And then they conduct their actions based on how they interpret it, and then they come and scream because they interpret it this way. And then they tell you need to change your code because it's not clear to them. And until it's clear to them, they're gonna keep doing as they dang well please. So we're trying to clean up the code in a language that is very clear. It leaves no room for interpretation. And it makes it much easier for code enforcement to enforce to that than something that's, you know,
Like,
It may, they may
for
not.
everybody, the business knows what to
And it-
do, the code
yes.
enforcer.
it needs to
guys
be
know.
consistent. Yes.
I agree.
So that's where the problem is. I mean, she identified your problem with your code is that it's very restrictive. Based on the current code. Yes, it's very restrictive, and that's how we got to this place,
It is.
you know,
But
but
not
not
the one we're proposing.
no.
Even the one we're proposing is pretty restrictive. It's requiring permits and limiting banners to 30 days. So we have some major rewriting to do.
The one we just did last week.
Yep.
Or last time.
Yep.
30 days.
Well, because yeah, that was in here that there's a limit. I was like making a mark through it as I read it, because I was like, oh yeah, we talked about this, because there's the one section, where am I? About they're only allowed, oh, here, like feather banners, no more than 4 banners may be displayed in one 30-day permit, no more than 4 permits shall be issued. So that was something that was, we were gonna take,
So we've got to rewrite.
gotta
the
rewrite
whole
that section.
Sign,
Yes,
including banners.
yes,
And we need to include a special use section for additional and put restrictions in that area and allow
yes.
annual business license. So like I said, we have some major rewriting to do.
Well, what you can do is you can send this, your
We got it.
suggestions to me,
Okay,
and I can slowly start rewriting it,
okay.
editing it, and then send back to you. And then you can go through it.
Okay.
So,
Well, I had one suggestion that we all agreed on. That was a strike for system.
yeah, yes, yeah, and I crossed that out, so we're good.
So my next suggestion is,
Sorry.
sorry, Terry.
The annual business license, I have a note that said we would charge them the annual business license fee plus. Add $25 for the banners. At that one time and then remove the takeout 4 times per year.
Yeah,
So,
and I
Yeah.
think Todd is suggesting that we include a sign into
yeah,
to
At the time
temporaries
of the business license.
under their current.
Okay,
And if they-
would you
to-
still want to charge them the 25 as part of their business license for those 2 additionals?
No,
Okay,
I wouldn't, no, I mean, that's
two per lot.
that's
Okay.
kind of like a,
at no charge,
Two per
included
lot
in their business license.
Business
Okay.
license.
yeah.
All right, just double checking, but an additional fee if they want more than 2 up to whatever limit.
Whatever we come up with. I
Okay,
mean,
whether that's 2 or 4,
No.
whatever you decide.
No,
No. They can't get more by paying a fee. They may use an additional one temporarily for a special event.
Okay, so you guys are gonna stick
So
with,
we're limiting it to 2 per lot, is that what you're
Two
suggesting?
per lot,
now, are you doing that lot sized?
yes. What, I don't know. Define lot size.
Well, cause some of like,
Very convoluted again, and
Right.
very hard to
So
code.
say, the Mexican restaurant's very narrow, that's one lot.
One lot, they
Just
can,
PG's 2 lots, cause it's got more.
so yes,
And that could be 4,
right,
because it's 2 per lot.
right.
2, so 2 for the Mexican restaurants.
So I'm clear.
Okay,
You're now adding to the business license the additional ability to put up to 4 banners on their property.
up to 2 banners
Up to
per
2
lot.
banners per lot. They're not paying any additional fee. Am I hearing this correctly?
You are,
And of those 2, they can use those as temporary.
No,
well.
no, they're feather
they would-
banner
they
or
would-
the banner
they-
on the wall.
They would be defined under definitions, they're defined as a temporary. A feather banner is not a permanent sign attached to a building.
Right.
It's defined as a temporary, so they don't have to put it up temporarily, that's just part of its definition.
Okay, what about special events?
Special events requires a special event license to include your special event sign. So we may want to increase the special event license fee to include a special event sign.
So they're not having a special event, they're just advertising.
Correct.
But it,
So we're not charging.
what we were talking about is it could be a special event if like the fairs come into town or I think that's how we're talking about.
Just be
Putting under
let's say,
special-
can one get one free, that's for 30 days, that's a special event. She can apply to get a special event.
But would people do
Temporary
special
sign.
event 12 times a year?
Well, I was thinking
Well, then-
Beano's,
Well, then we have. then
he,
we
he could
have
go broke.
These four,
Yeah.
then we have the one per quarter, it's a not to exceed.
I think we need to have another meeting.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we need to have Susie back to clarify what she's able to
Okay.
enforce.
Yes.
And I will get an answer from CDOT.
Okay.
Okay.
And I will go through
Susie,
this line by
CDOT.
line.
That's
and
what I was
make
thinking, I
some
think the
suggestions.
special
Well, yeah, and you can send them to me. I can edit them in with a different color.
Define it.
Define it.
Because you could do it.
Well, it's my birthday, a special event.
Okay, so what you can do is you can send me suggestions. I will add them in a different color. And then we can,
And when do we have, when's my deadline?
well,
Because I got-
do you want to include this in the July 2nd meeting? You want to wait until that? Okay, we'll put it in the July 18th,
So right now I'm gonna go out, since there's no rule, and I'm gonna get like 12 massive signs that are like pink. And put them on my door.
don't do that.
Right?
Don't do that.
Nobody's having fun with this.
July 16th.
Oh. I'm not gonna make the July 16th meeting.
Well, then you better send me
That's
lots
the
of
monthly meeting, right?
suggestions.
What's
Yes,
that?
that's the monthly meeting.
Mhm.
Yeah, so send me lots of suggestions.
For the travel day, I will be home July 16th at night.
Okay,
As long as you're home by 5.
okay. So I will,
Do you want me to just email them to you?
yes, just email them to me.
Because I have-
And then I can add them in a different color and then you guys can all look over them. Does that sound all right?
I may not be here for July 16th either. Where son has a college. I just noticed, I'm sorry.
So if we can
Okay,
discuss
the 23rd.
Twenty-third works for me.
I can do the 23rd.
I'll make it happen.
Can Sandy?
Sandy-
It's done.
Sandy, do you think you could do July 23rd if we move the meeting from the 16th to the 23rd? Actually, it'll work better for me because I won't be here either for the 16th, so. She says yes. Okay, so we're gonna move, okay, we're gonna move the July 16th to the 23rd. Okay. All right, so we're not gonna have it on the 16th, but I will send out an email. I'll send out a calendar invite.
Thank you.
Did that work for that? That seemed to work pretty good for that July 2nd thing, like
So-
that's the calendar invite.
So you guys are gonna start sending your suggestions. I'm gonna start sending them.
Yeah, and I can just I'll color code them, I'll add them in and color code them, and then you
and
guys
share
can,
'em.
and share them. So you have it for the next meeting or whatever.
Is there anything else we should,
Yeah, we gotta
that
get
needs
this
to be
done.
addressed for businesses to? be able to
Well,
function?
I think you have quite a bit under your
We certainly did.
plate right now.
More than we ever thought we had two months ago. We are just learning about signs.
Yeah, well, you know, I learn something new every day, so that's just how I take this. I've learned something new every day. Okay.
It's a learning experience for me, that's. for
I
sure.
think you're asking a lot of Susie to be able to know a lot size,
Right.
just because the ones downtown, like the Mexican restaurant is half the size of my building. Nobody's gonna know
Right,
what's one lot and what's two. Mine really would be one lot, but his is one lot too. So
Because I
it
think-
is, I just think that's asking a lot of Susie to know that.
so maybe you could,
Maybe a per business.
well, I was gonna say, well, I was thinking-
Face front
It
footage.
needs to be
Right.
front footage somehow, but.
but maybe just limit it to two per storefront
First story.
and just call it good.
With the maximum size.
But
If they wanna put a 10x10 in front of their business, let them. No one's gonna be able to get in.
Fair to just be.
Well,
cheaper than
so
it
what I'm
is.
saying is though, maybe go on the bigger size and do 4. Do you think put more than 4 feathers out in front of your building?
I mean, I think that you guys have to do a fair number, and I'm not arguing that.
So-
You gotta-
No,
because if you
I'm
can't-
not trying to.
So that's what I'm saying, is you could do the 2 with the option to add 2 more if you're a bigger business.
But if you did like Legions and put 4 feather signs out,
Right.
you would be able to get in their building.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I think most of the businesses do 2. Most of them that I see, like Prism does 1, most of them do like Leach's has one feather, one hanging, you know, cause they're not in the way.
And I think the way businesses are running right now is very respectful. And I like the feather banners, cause I agree. When you're driving through town, you see them easier.
Yep.
Especially for properties that are off. But we do need to have restraints for any situation that could arise. I mean, or at least well-defined. Otherwise, if then this left.
Or
for interpretation.
Another option. And I'm just, cause this would be a little more work for me, but you could say 2 per building, 2 per op. They could request a variance, let's say, because just Peachy is huge, maybe she wants to have 4. And then I could let Susie know that building has a variance of 2 extra.
Now, is there any way someone could redefine what a building is?
No,
I mean, can you
I said-
put something out and say, no, that's one building and this is.
no, I mean, it's
Well,
this business, I mean, it's pretty, I mean, you got Leach's, you got Debbie's.
But if someone-
So
You got Patty's.
And that-
Mona's would technically have, they're paying for 3 business licenses. there.
Yes,
So.
they have 3
our
business
would
licenses.
Be
Yes,
6.
Would be 6.
yes,
So.
without
so
adding
would it-
extras.
Would it be easier for code enforcement to do?
If they knew there was
the
just
linear
2,
feet per
no, cause she's gonna have to measure and Susie doesn't wanna
I
measure.
think we need to get out of the whole linear.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
I think just stick with business.
It really is.
Like-
It does define.
And I know that.
We need to get Susie in here and get her
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
We need Susie and we need CDOT, cause
Okay,
we need CDOT.
okay. Well, I know Kim will contact him at CDOT. And I can get Susie on. And I'll just let her know when this meeting is happening. And that gives her time too to come in. So that gives her,
Be a planning commission meeting,
yes, this would be our regular meeting, just,
okay, you're doing July.
yeah, because this is our June meeting, so this will be our regular July meeting. We're just moving it back from the 16th to the 23rd. Which, like I said, I'll be gone that week of the 16th too, so I forgot about that. So actually, that works out good.
I get home on the 16th, but not till late.
Okay,
So are you not doing the July 2nd one?
yes, we will still do that because that is just, we're just gonna do the special permit for Foster.
Oh.
That's the only thing that'll be on there is Foster's thing. So that should be a pretty short meeting. Because Foster has to have a pre-plan, you know, whatever thing. Because then it has to come before your board in July. So we were sneaking theirs in before that one so we could get that done. So he doesn't have to wait anymore.
So we'll be here on the 2nd.
You'll be here in the second, but the only thing you're discussing is Foster.
And when do you need, like, what's the deadline for our comments that you can incorporate them and include them on the agenda?
I mean, if you could have them to me,
Days.
Like the Friday before, maybe?
well, I'll be out at that conference that whole week earlier. So if you could have them
The week
the
before.
Friday before that or whatever, or the Thursday before that, let me look at my calendar. So, okay, so yeah, I am out the 14th through the 18th at a conference. So I mean, if you could have them to me like the week of the 7th through the 11th, that would give me time.
Okay.
Okay.
That gives you like 3 weeks.
From the 4th to the 16th, so I will try to get mine done before the 4th.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's a pretty short turnaround for me.
Well, especially now that.
I'm giving you 3 weeks.
Well, see,
got
yeah,
three
but
there.
my grandkids are in.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I gotta drive one.
Okay, you don't need to sleep.
Oh,
The rest of us don't need to sleep.
We got vacation Bible school the rest of this week.
Okay, all right.
We're gonna table that?
Yes, so we will table it till so you need to make a motion to table it to the July 23rd meeting.
Third, right?
I
Mhm.
move we table the sign code discussion to the July 23rd.
Okay.
meeting.
I second.
So it is not gonna be the 3rd week then,
No, it'll be the 4th
Correct.
week.
Okay.
Because we have too many members out.
okay.
Okay,
All
so
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sandy? She says aye, okay. All right, motion passes.
Motion passed.
Okay,
New business.
there isn't none, so that takes you to adjournment.
It says discussion.
Oh, do you have anything to discuss?
I think we just.
I'm pretty sure you discussed yourself out.
Great. Right. Meeting adjourned,
Need to make a motion.
Oh, it's
Oh,
Sandy's.
yeah.
Oh, Sandy,
Can make a motion.
yes, dear, hold on. Sandy, what do you have to say? Anything? Or was that just, you're good with,
That was her vote.
that was her vote? Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought that was, but just double checking. Okay, so make a
A
motion.
motion to adjourn this meeting.
You can't, you're the chair.
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I second.
You can only entertain the
All in
motion.
favor?
Aye. This meeting-
Sandy, are we good to adjourn?
Meeting is adjourned June 18th at, what is this, 7:24?
Sure.
Need a script.
24. I can get you one of those.
All right, I'm gonna.
Cool, Sandy.
Some things, like, probably tomorrow.
You